Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Hope everyone is well. Apologies about the lateness. You can blame me for this. What an amazing show we are going to be having today. Racism in Vets football plus some other topics. But you know what? Let me just introduce you to the panel. Let me start with the wizard. Hollington. What else can I say about this guy? When I first met this guy, trust me, I was in awe. I was in awe of all of his quality. Chris, the Wizard Hubbard. How are you doing, sir?
I'm very good, thank you, man. Always a pleasure to be here. Thank you again for having me.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Oh, and and you can wear your Spurs shirt as well. Did Spurs win today?
Didn't play, mate. Tomorrow.
Oh, tomorrow. Apologies.
Thanks, mate. Thanks.
And above Chris, we have the best Vets goalkeeper in the Southern Vets Football League. Gary, how are you doing, sir?
I'm good, but I don't like that top he's wearing.
Could say the same about yours, but we're all right.
No, mate. Listen, empty cabinet. Yeah. the Audi Cup.
What's in your one?
Can you go any further than that?
What's in yours? A bottle? Oh, God.
Well, it's a lot more than what's in your cabinet.
Bottle FC.
It's all right, Spud. It's all right, Spud. It's all right.
Wow. Okay. I have a feeling this is how the show is going to go. And our special guest, Skin to Tea, Junior Baker. How are you doing, sir?
Boy, I'm there to Bryce, man. Long time coming, man.
Long time coming, bro. Long time coming. And you know what? I first started to interact with your content on Twitter, and I'm like, it was just how you were so open and like you was kind of willing to kind of not like only show your funny side, but kind of there was always a message behind every single video, every single dance, man, and I resonated with him that 100%.
No, enough respect, man. The work don't stop,
Yeah, 100%. And of course, I'm the host here, the best centre back in grassroots football, Reece Jones.
All right, guys, it's been a pleasure.
Yeah. you keep telling yourself that. This is where the fun starts, Junior.
Let me just repeat myself. To Reece Jones, the best grassroots football centre back in the UK.
1 minute. Do you know who's on the live?
Oh, listen. You know what I mean?
Oh, I'm just saying.
You know what I mean? Like, I've got mad respect for like JB. You know what I mean? But I'm the best centre back around.
No, I hear that. But just remember you got on the live and you're saying that. Okay. With chest as well. Like, chest. I have to respect it, but when you got a man like Junior Baker out here doing bits and still playing as well, you got a question.
Boy.
Oh dear. Big shout out to Joe Evans. I would love to be part of this. And good evening to you, J Dog.
Evening.
Honestly, thank you so much. We are going to be going through a few topics, a few interesting topics, and again, this is an open forum. We are I would say we are men of integrity, and also we have our own opinions and statements about not only football but also life in general. So again, please feel free to put any questions, statements. We'll be happy to kind of continue this conversation. So the first conversation that we are going to be having is racism in Vets football, and I will start off myself, and I'll be absolutely transparent. Within my football career, and in the I say career in like inverted commas, I've like been in changing rooms where players, coaches, and managers have like said, we are now playing a typical white team, and what they mean by that is organized, solid. They have a structure, that kind of togetherness. And then also I've been in changing rooms where like people have said, we are playing against a typical black team, flamboyant, quick, also unstable and emotional. And I would love to get people's opinion. Is this racism? Is this a stereotype? And should we be looking to literally change the narrative of what players should be like? And you know what, I'm gonna literally start off with our special guest, Junior Baker.
Yes, good evening, man. Good evening. You know what? The word typical is a stereotype straight away, because you're now prejudging the situation. Now, as a footballer, playing football, still doing it, when I go into a changing room, I just want to see that there's respect there from everybody. You understand? And again, it's like doing the warm-up, because I mainly know what a team is going to be like, sometimes more so during the warm-up, because you're over one corner of the pitch, they're over the other corner of the pitch, and you're looking from afar and you're like, raw, them are tiny, man, they're small. But again, going back to having the mindset of thinking that they're a typical white boy team, what you mentioned, it is doing things properly. You understand that you're looking at a situation here and you're like, we're playing a team that is in a league above, so the expectations from your own team, the bar's got to be high as well, because the objective is to go and win. You don't want to or be the underdog and you go and turn them over. But again, the reason why I say the word typical is a stereotype is because a lot of people get themselves in more trouble in today's time by prejudging situations and getting it wrong. You understand? So if you want to aspire to be that typical team, organized, on time, punctual, got everything going, and then you combine that with the stereotype or the typical saying that, he's quick, he's got pace, they're lively, then straight away you combine both together, it's a win-win. You understand? So there's always going to be mixed feelings about this particular situation. And as Gary said earlier on, there's moments where you want to say what you really want to say, but you got to hold it. You understand? And I call that being professional. You understand? And that is also setting the bar for yourself. What type of person do you want to be when you're in the changing room? I've been in many changing rooms where there's a lot of people that are just sitting there quiet. And is that their way of getting in the zone? You understand? And when they go out on the pitch, they're lively, they're buzzing, and they've kind of got you out of the, a situation as well, because you're not going to turn up every week and have 11 people bang on it. You're just not going to have that. You understand? And if you were fortunate to have that, you still can come unstuck and lose, and that's why the beautiful game, it's evolving, it's changing. People are more conscious of what they say, which is also nice. I guess the free tongue, it is not as it used to be, because people are more worried about what that person's going to do. You understand? So, again, the word typical is always going to be stereo. When I turn up to a football match, I know there's going to be certain players that might be in that team that can do bits, but not all 11 of them can do that. You understand? So again, it's making sure that if you set the bar for how you want your team to be, people will speak highly of you. You understand? And again, how you carry yourself, because when you invite somebody to your team, as a manager, talking about these stereotypes and talking about what the black people might be like, when you're inviting people into your team, for me, it's about inviting the right person into your team. You understand? Because no matter where that person goes, he's a representative of that team. You understand? He's carrying that name, especially if you're wearing a tracksuit. Chris, we wore many tracksuits. We're going to different clubs, and no matter where they are in the world, I know you're at Kent United, Chris. If that player is wearing Kent United and they go and do something where there's lights and it's all blown out of proportion, that's coming straight back to your club.
100%. You get labeled, man, from that.
Straight back to your club. So when you're walking, any professional environment that we go into, even in work, them typical girls over there, look at those boys over there. You understand? We kind of prejudge the situation. So that's why, going the stereotypes that we live with day by day, it's got to come. You've got to be the change you want to see.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
you've got to be the change that you want to see. I don't want to badge on too much about it. I want other people to express themselves as well. But that's why I always say the work don't stop.
Yeah,
no, it doesn't.
Love that.
The work don't stop.
Yeah, Chris.
Obviously, I've been in both change rooms. So I've had both sides of the coin where I've been in a team where my teammates have all said, "Oh, you know, they're going to be a typical black team. They're going to do this. They're going to play like this. If we rat around them, they'll argue and whatever." But then on the flip side, I've been in a team where my teammates have gone, "Oh, they're going to be a typical white team." But oh no, let me come back to that. But yeah, so and then they've gone, you know, they're going to be organised. They're going to be physical. They're going to let you know you're in a game. They're not going to pull out of a challenge or whatever. Like they're going to work hard all the time. But then on the flip side of that, I've also been in a team where my team's been mixed, and both times it's still being said where we've had a mixed squad of black, white, whatever you know what I mean, like multicultural team, and players have actually turned around and said, you know what, they're going to be this team's going to be a typical young or black team or whatever, or they've said it about the white teams. I think a world we're in at the moment is it's a little bit more sensitive nowadays. So for you to say that so freely, people are going to take offense to it. So I think back in the day, like I know you said about racism in vets football, but are we talking just vets, or are we talking about on a wider scale of just football in general?
We can probably widen it, but you know, again, I would like to kind of keep it within the vet community as well.
Yeah, I get that. The difficulty is that I've not experienced that again because the teams that I've played for via vets have all been multicultural. So I've not heard that at the moment. You get what I mean? Like, but from my past experiences of playing as a footballer, you know, in a team that's either been dominantly black, dominantly white, or mixed, them shouts have been said. But I think people just, to them, that was just natural. So when they were just saying that, obviously people weren't going to take that. Sometimes people didn't take offense to it. Do you get what I mean? Because I think how people look at it maybe back then was if you said that but didn't step over the line by them making racial slurs either during the game or whatever like that, you know, they more like thought it was okay. When in hindsight, it's kind of not, because if we were just to walk out in an everyday life and just turn around and go, that's a typical black man, you know, doing this, doing that. Or it's a typical white man doing this, doing that. People are gonna have words about it. So I think we need to work out how we conduct ourselves within that football environment, you know, because remember, we're all human. So we're going to take offense. Our natural reaction is going to be, okay, you can't say that. Do you know what I mean? I've been in change rooms where I've actually said to people, no, don't say that. Because a lot of my friends, I'd say possibly 80% of my friends are black. So you know what I mean, like my partner, black. So when I hear certain comments, it gets my back up because I'm like, no, you can't say that. You know what I mean? I'll always fight for whether it's white, black, wherever it is, because I'm one of them people where it's like we shouldn't be talking like that. We're all equal, and you know, we have to be careful what we say. But for me, maybe like I said again, I don't want to keep going on, but maybe nowadays we have to. Well, I don't really do it myself, but teams or people have to step careful in what they say because, you know, it could blow up and become a lot worse than what it's meant to be. You know, it could be harmful to someone else that feels like it's just harmful. But as we said to other people, they're not going to take it as harmful. They're going to be like, no, you're actually being inappropriate. I'm not going to accept that. Where back in the day, I just feel like people were able to freely say it because that all, I think, like Junior said, the stereotyping was back in the day was like that. The stereotyping was that, especially within, I'd say, majority of the Sunday League. That was what was being said quite often about a variety of teams. Do you know what I mean? I remember playing against a Latin team, and the first thing that come out of someone's mouth was, "They're going to be fiery. They're Latin. They're going to be fiery. They're going to kick you. They're more likely to be able to play, but they're going to kick you up in the air. They're going to let you know you're in a game." So again, they're being stereotyped as being aggressive. Do you know what I mean? Instead of just going, oh, you know what, let's see what the game says. But then they were automatically labelled as they're going to be aggressive, they're going to kick you, they're going to do this, they're going to foul you, they're going to be horrible. But that doesn't need to be said. Just get into the game, play it, feel it out, and we suss out the game from there. Yeah. You know, I think that's just it, really. I think, like I said, on this subject, people have to be very careful in how they conduct themselves and say certain things because, you know, today's today's society is very touch and go. You have to be very careful, especially what's happening so far in the world. You know what I mean? We have to be very careful what we say.
Very true. Very true. Gary?
Oh, listen, you spoke about the stereotype, but I'm going to speak about the other part. What gets my back up is the verbal abuse that some of them come out with, the racial insults and slurs, the derogatory remark and comment. We all know that doing something like that, all it does, it just creates a hostile environment. It affects the individual as well, in a big sense, you know? And at the end of the day, really and truly, when you think about it, the integrity and unity of the sport as a whole. And you know what? I'm gonna share a personal experience with you. I was playing for Santos in the Beckenham Hospital Cup final. I can't remember the team we were playing. But in about 10, 15 minutes in the second half, one of the players racially abused me. The referee was there and rightfully sent him off. But worse was to come. Give it 5 or 10 minutes, a woman supporting the opposing team decided to just start racially openly abusing me. Yeah? Monkey chants, everything. You would never believe it was this sort of thing was happening. Yeah? And the emotion in me at the time, like I said, there's words that I can't say here. You know, you have to be professional about what you're actually saying. But it was just wrong, and these are the sort of things that needs to be addressed. They do have to be addressed. We can all say, like, you know what? Oh, it happened, but are we reporting it? Because unless we report it, nothing's going to be done about it. I've played in games where even refs have been biased in a big sense, and you have to say, boy, what's wrong with this man? I've been in a position where a ref has openly heard another player racially abuse someone and then turns around and say, I didn't hear nothing. The game's over. You walk into the bar. He's standing at the bar with them drinking like they're just all pals. What do you say about those sort of things? What can you do about it? It's just crazy. The stereotype is always going to be there, isn't it? You've got this common stereotype, which, I mean, both Chris and Junior have already covered. But you know, you can walk your game on Sunday and just walk past and more than likely hear, I told you, get it up front of Winston. You know, which is a typical common comment. You know, so like I said, it's the race. It's just the stereotype. I don't really let it get to me. So long as it's not directed at me or it's in my earshot, no. But it's the racism, just the racism, because there's no need for it. Like I said, if I racially insult Chris or Chris racially insults Junior, straight away, like I said, it's a hostile environment. Straight away.
Just to touch base on what you're saying, Gary, as well. Yeah, you see, for me, right, it's not whether it's a white person that might have said, you know, inappropriate comments to you, but I don't know whether you might be able to say from your background, Chris, but Black people are racially abusive to Black people a lot as well. You understand? Like, and there's certain words that is even in the music that is listened to more so in today, which doesn't help. Because in the changing room, I've been in many changing rooms, and even with a certain content of music that is being played, and if I'm not comfortable with certain words, the last thing I'm definitely going to want to not hear it in is in the music. So that type of music can't be in my changing room, because socially, it's not acceptable for Chris to say the N-word at all. You understand? At all. But as for a Black person, it shouldn't be said at all neither. You understand? So knowing that we're contributing into listening to certain things that are going in and around us, again, the ownership has to be on the manager. It has to be, because for me, straight away, Gary, that person has said that comment to you while you're playing on the pitch. He's representing that team. The referee has sent him off, rightfully so. The next question is, looking around, the manager's going to be thinking, hang on a minute, like if it happened over there by the corner flag and the dugouts are over that side, straight away you're going to think, what's happened there then? What happened? He's not going to come straight off the pitch and say, oh yeah, I racially abused him. He's going to be a little bit more tamed about it. But when that manager finds out what that player should say and what he said to warrant that, he shouldn't be welcome at the team no more. For me.
100%.
Because again, you've not only embarrassed yourself, most importantly, but you've also embarrassed the club. Do you understand? And this is where most teams, you know, we see things going on all the time and we're like, I don't really want to go there because that person that is also playing for that team, we don't really get along as well, you know, so I don't really want to be around that. You understand? People have choices to make, you know, and some of the choices they're not easy choices to make, but for the longevity and for the best interest of the teams that we have all been associated with, the elements of respect is key. Whether you're black, you're white, you're Chinese, you understand, respect is key. You understand? Because again, especially the music, or, you know, someone said such and such, you can, rather than putting that person in a space, like what you said before, Gary, about addressing things, you can pull that person over to one side in a private space as well. You understand? And I don't believe that certain conversations are over the phone. That's got to be a man-to-man conversation. You understand? As opposed to say, look, you know, I just can't have that here. Whether you said it accidentally or you understand, because again, you know, that wasn't said to you in a nice way, what he said to you, you understand? And again, the fans, they're also attached to you as well. And that's the hardest thing as well, because when we play football today, outside of the non-league sector, you know, your missus might come along to come and watch you play. Your children might be there on the sideline coming to watch you play. Then you might say, oh yeah, I got a big cup final. Bring your friend to bring that friend to bring that friend. And before you know it, you got a little crowd and your back's up. If you hear something in the crowd and it's been highlighted, as we see on the TV at the best of times, where certain sanctions might come into play if it's proven that the person said that, you're saying, Gary, that the lady was openly screaming and all. Like I said, you got to remove the problem. And if you remove the problem, it doesn't mean that it's not going to go away permanently, but at least it's a step closer to ushering out the nonsense. You understand? So again, the stereotypes, yes, they are always going to be there. And like what you said, Chris, as well, people are so overly heightened now and more sensitive. It is touch and go. But with it still being touch and go, without getting physical with it, there's still ways of being able to draw that person in on a respectful one and just let them know, because, you know, people are talking a lot more than they used to speak. You understand? So again, it's having that safe space to be able to go and have the uncomfortable conversation, shall I say. You understand? Because it can cause tensions, you understand? So again, you know, if you're speaking to people as a group setting, then, you know, you're not personally targeting that person in front of that person, because you don't know the mindset of how that person is going to be able to deal with also feeling embarrassed publicly. You understand? It's like social media again. We'll touch base later on onto that one. But again, you know, rather than, drawing a man out and throwing his name over lights, and you understand, like you said, Chris, we're still all human, you understand? And again, that conversation, if you feel that someone has, you know, crossed the line, you have to address it.
Yeah, 100%.
Because then that also says a lot about you too. You understand? Because if you're hiding it, you understand, and you don't want to, you know, feel that you're the elephant in the room. What values are you walking with then?
100%. And I think, like you said about the club, I think when things like that happen, if the club haven't dealt with it, or, you know, made an example of it, it speaks volumes about the club. Because you can't
totally agree
to have that person in the team that's done that to Gary. Now, for me personally, if I was at Kent United, right, and someone was either racially abusive to a black guy, racially abusive to a white guy, I can tell you right now, us as a management will not have that player there. They'll be gone. They'll be gone. We're setting an example. We're like, Laters, get out of it. And then we'd make the other example by saying, if there's anyone else that don't agree with what we just did, that was there for you as well. Because, like you just said, I think you said earlier regarding, you know, like representing the club. Now, if we were to allow that to happen, and then after Saturday's game, they go off to the pub, have a couple of drinks, and then they've got their tracksuit on and whatever, and then that happens again outside, we're now going to be labelled as a team that does that. Do you get what I mean? Whether it's racist to black guys, like women, men, whatever, white people, like, we're gonna be the ones that suffer because we're gonna be labelled that negative stereotype, and we're not here for that. So I think the thing that happened to Gary is, look, if the club were to take a stance, I don't know if they did, Gary, or not, you know, and I'm sorry to hear that you had to go through that, mate, but I just feel that the club should have dealt with that straight away. Like I remember years ago, when I was playing for Queen's Borough, I can't remember what we played, but listen, the chairman was a madman anyway, right? But I remember there was a racial comment made on the pitch, and we obviously, as a team, we were like, no, we're not having this. Like, this player needs to leave now. Like, we're not going to have this. So the ref gave it the old, I didn't hear it, whatever. But multiple people heard it. You know what I mean? Even people that was on the side, like around the sides, heard it. So we're just like, no, this can't run. Something needs to be done about it. Anyway, when we approached the club, oh no, you know, he's not. That's not what he's like. He's not that sort of person. But we're like, okay, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're always doing it on a Saturday night. Do you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, they must have something within them to want to do that. Do you know what I mean? So the chairman, obviously, he dealt with it in his own way, which was inappropriate. But we made a point to the club and saying, when we come to your ground, if he's there, we refuse to play. You know what I mean? We had to stand together as a group. And we were like, we're not going to enter the pitch if this guy's still playing. Because at the end of the day, we need to make a point of it, and we had to make a stand. Luckily, when we done the reverse fixture, he wasn't there. He weren't even in the stadium. So, you know what I mean? The club did what they had to do. Whether they agreed with it or not, they obviously did it because maybe they wanted to think they can get the points or whatever. But us as a club, at the time, we had to make a stance and be like, no, because it can't happen. Because then you know what happens? If we were to let that happen once, it's going to happen again. And it's going to happen again. And it becomes a domino effect. Do you get what I mean? And the domino effect becomes a negativity. Whether it was a black guy making a racist comment to a white guy, be the exact same thing. We're not going to play if he's there. You know what I mean? Like you hit the nail on the head, Junior. It's all about perspectives. It's all about how we can maybe try and sort out ways where we can deal with these situations. Like you said, instead of getting physical. And I know it's hard. Listen, I'm a white guy, so I've seen my friends, I've seen people I know suffer from it, and it is very difficult because you just want to get physical, but that's not always going to work. And then what's going to happen is, you know, the typical stereotype then becomes a narrative again, doesn't it? You know, you say something, aggressive person, they're this, they're that. Where it's like, no, why would you not be aggressive? Because something's been said that's really hurtful. So we just need to, you know, listen, the awful thing about it is, and it's so hard to say, that no matter what we try and do, there's always going to be someone or some people out there that are never going to be able to turn and make them see a positive light. So, but it's just how us, as a community in general, learn how to deal with it as best we can. Do you get what I mean?
Very true. No,
well,
honestly,
my last words, team, and my last words on this particular topic here. My granddad, God rest his soul, told me something a long time ago. Because I grew up with my grandparents, so you know I'm on the back end of that culture generation where children were supposed to be seen, not heard. Do you understand? So, you know, my granddad told me a long time ago, words can't kill you. They hurt. They will make you want to do something, but
Yeah.
there's nothing in the world that anyone can say that is going to kill you. You understand? So you're going to have to learn how to either deal with it in a constructive way, because our old school generation is sweep things under the carpet. You understand? Where now, what Chris said, just got to bring it to the light. And like what you said, Chris, about people not turning. I work with young people, so I can't accept that there's not a slight possibility that the mindset can't be changed or altered in a
100%.
way where that person, you can get the best out of them. Because when you're thrown in the limelight and it's negative, if there's one thing I can leave you all with, is time will pass. Yeah, I understand. And people will quickly move on to the next thing. But you just got to learn how to deal and make sure that you're held to account as well, because there's no point saying you're sorry for something and then you're going to go and do something different again that is going to, make people obviously feel a certain way. You have to, hold your moment of madness. You
Yeah.
understand? Because it is moments of madness that cause, I don't say sorry for free. You understand? Because you understand, sorry is something that can become very expensive. You understand?
Yeah.
So again, it will always go back to what you have as a person and what value you want to set. And again, I've played for some big boy teams, man, and I'm very fortunate not to be subject of anyone directly saying anything to me. But because this was a while ago, the shout I got told in the box was, "I've got the cornered guy." And I'm like, okay. you know what I mean? Like at these times, I'm like that young rebel, but I'm thinking, rah, I'm on the back end of those words being used. Do you understand? But I would have preferred him to have said, "I've got the black guy," because I was the only black guy in the team. Do you understand? So it was just that young, wild mindset of, rah, I'm at this big club, but rah. And I keep it real. I let it slide. I didn't say nothing to nobody. Do you understand? Because you feel that you've got a lot more to lose. Whereas if I was talking back to that young junior again, it weren't that the words did kill me, but it stayed with me for a little while. And knowing that I'm more able to address anything at any time,
Yeah.
I would have wanted that junior to have said, "Look, please don't say that next time."
Mm.
Do you understand? Just so that he knew that he never got away with it. Because if you tell someone to stop something and they stop, it doesn't make it okay, but you've still said something. You understand? Because again, it is touch and go, but there's a way of touching a situation where you don't have to go with it as well. You understand? So again, man, words can't kill you, but they hurt.
No, 100%, mate.
100%. I want to shout everyone that's literally commented. J Dog says there is a difference between banter and racism. And yeah, we have like we've got to be really, really careful. Big shout out to Bath Time. I imagine the larger impact of this type of racism affects coaches, managers, and scouts more than players. But again, like he lives in the countryside. Let me scroll down again. The Bath Time has said so. Players from England, France, Spain, Argentina will all have different approaches to different words, and again, like we all know in terms of what's going on at Chelsea with the Enzo Fernandez and the song, and literally how that affects people differently. So big shout out to Bath Time and Ivan. Racism is a topic that people want to ignore. Whatever way it comes, it's backwards thinking. In his opinion, people's racism is sneaky and undertone, like any virus, it evolves. Very, 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 very true. And before we kind of go on to the next topic, I don't know. Well, there was a huge thing in Vets football, which I covered with two teams, and there was a team that literally accused another manager or management of being racist. I'm not gonna kind of go over it too much, but there was sometimes there are certain words and certain phrases that can trigger certain people. So there was a word, or should I say phrase, that was said, and there was a supposedly a huge banner that we were going to walk into this like particular club, and literally it was supposed to have said like "Welcome to Eltham," and you know how there's a certain generation. No matter what you think of Eltham right now, there's a certain generation of black men, especially, that just can't be said. And then,
please, can I cut in and say something on this? What you've just said about the Eltham thing.
Please.
We played charcoal. Yeah, when we played charcoal, a tackle went in. One of their players made a tackle, and it was a bad tackle, and we sort of like made a bit of noise about it. Someone from their bench, and I must say, it weren't one of the players on the pitch. One of their bench players said, "This is Eltham, you know." In that moment, that game just stopped. We went over to their bench because we wanted to know, what do you mean by this is Eltham? As a collective, we all know what happened in Eltham. We don't have to go into details. Yeah? So we went over there to them, and even the referee couldn't understand, what said to their manager, why is this player saying this? He has to be, you need to tell him to leave. And they just, well, he didn't say nothing. But we all heard it as clear as day. Yeah? This is Eltham. His exact words were, quote, "This is Eltham, you know." So we've challenged them because we want to know what he means by that. Is it supposed to intimidate us or frighten us?
I have a question. Was said banner only put up for was it your team that was going down there? Did you say team?
Yeah. I mean, everything is documented on my channel.
No. What I mean by is, and this is me not trying to take away anything from it. I'm just trying to get better insight of, like, was the banner used only for your team, or was the banner used through every other game?
So
do we know of?
Yeah, so literally this is where I'd say ignorance and education needs to be brought in, because again, we as a team didn't know if that was just for us, if it was banner, like, sometimes we can interpret certain things how we want it to influence us.
Typical.
You know what I mean? So yes. So
goes back to the same word I said before.
Yeah. So but yeah, there was a huge thing. Again, everything is documented on my kind of platform. And again, is that racism? Is that ignorance? Has that person been educated in a kind of certain way in terms of what that area actually, in terms of, I would say, like the kind of footprints of that area means to certain people. And yeah, again, this is in Vets football. We are now talking men over 35 that that have certain responsibilities and are very self-aware in terms of how like they should, for me, conduct themselves. So it was a very triggering moment, even for myself. But again, it's about kind of making sure that we have clear communication, exactly what you guys have been saying, clear communication. And if something that we feel doesn't sound right, us as men, us that are playing Masters football, I don't like to call it Vets football, Masters football, we should be talking about this freely and voicing our concern.
100%. I think it just before we jump over, it comes back to obviously understanding the people that are coming into the situation. So, for example, that banner was, let's say the banner was going to be put up, right? Again, like I said, I'm only going to go off what I'm hearing. I wasn't there. I don't know anything. But it's you're either putting the banner up not knowing what reaction you're going to get, or you're deliberately putting the banner up knowing what reaction you're going to get and why that banner's been put up. So it's there's a fine line again, and it's understanding what people's feelings are going to be like and how they're going to interpret what's being done. And if I know that they've got, if it is that team we're talking about, that Gary said Charcoal, they've got black players in their team. So how did they interpret it? That would be an interesting scenario. How did they interpret that being? Because I can imagine there was discussions around it, maybe within the group. But how did they feel themselves within that being put up? Do you get what I mean? Because for me as a white guy, I would feel uncomfortable because I'd be like, well, like Gary said, we all know what happened. So I'd feel uncomfortable and be like, I don't think that's a good idea. But, you know, each to their own. I mean, people do certain things. So
very, very, very true. Guys, that's the first topic done, and that was 40 minutes. Oh my gosh.
I don't know what you expect to me. It's a sensitive subject.
Yeah, that's true. You know what? I mean, again,
man, like you said, we have to listen. If we can't become comfortable in talking about it, what's going to happen with it? You know what I mean? Like, there has to be a point where we're able to speak about it. We're able to get an understanding of what it means and how people feel. Because if we don't get an understanding of what it is, it's never going to. Listen, I'm not saying it's definitely going to go away, but we're never going to get a better hold of it. So we have to have these uncomfortable conversations.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, this is coming from me as a white guy. But we have to have these uncomfortable conversations, man. We need to have a better understanding of how we can approach these situations and how we can deal with them for us to have any chance of these things, you know, dissolving.
100%.
100%, man.
How about we just end this topic by emphasizing to the viewers the importance it is to report these sort of racial behavior to their leagues.
100%.
It's important.
Well said, Gary. Greetings, Nana.
Greetings, Nana, manager of Catford. I want to shout out.
Nana, quickly, is Fabrice the best centre back in Vets football? Sorry.
Yeah, 100%, man. Come on now.
Is he allowed to type it? Is he allowed to type it?
You know what?
Getting drawn out to.
You know what, JB? I don't need my manager's approval to tell me how good I am. I know.
All right.
You know
I didn't say we needed approval.
You know what I'm saying?
Remember, it's a typical phrase. See it there?
Yo! Yes!
You see it there?
Hey, we Junior on every week.
Yo! Yeah.
But you see what I'm saying?
It's funny, man. It's funny.
Because remember, people's opinions can be damaging, but words can't kill you. You understand?
100%.
And you got to let time just pass itself. You understand? Because you know what? I try to live my life as best as I can by trying to be so comfortable with the uncomfortable.
You have to be.
Yeah, gets like that, man. You have to.
No, but I genuinely and I love the unconscious bias, because that person who you think, it's like we're all in the football circuit. You're going to say, look, do me a favor, bring the footballs for me next week. And you know there's a certain man in the team that you just wouldn't be giving them footballs to, because you just know, say, he's just not going to...
Remember them.
Yeah, understand. Come true with the footballs then, but you're going to give it to somebody who you know you kind of got, you know, a certified person to want to bring that for you. So my unconscious bias thoughts is I'm going to give that person benefit of the doubt. You understand? You know, and sometimes that's been my downfall as well, because I see the best in everybody. You understand? We was all born into this life that we're in, you know, trying to create so many different possibilities, and we've all been told no more times than we've been told yes. So the being uncomfortable and trying to get comfortable with it as best as possible is to try and see past and read between the lines that, you know what, if something's not good for you, come away from it.
Yep.
100%.
And sometimes we have to keep certain people from afar, and sometimes that can be as close as family. You understand? Because you're trying to get your mind right and you're trying to elevate yourself, and you got to keep surrounding yourself around people to help elevate you as well and get the best out of you. So again, you know, whether you feel that you're the best to Bryce, that's a good mindset to have. Yeah. You understand? But someone's always going to look on you differently and be like, nah. Yeah, I'm
one of them, Junior. If I'm taking my last fiver into the bookie shop, then I'm just saying, Junior
I
baby,
hear it,
I'm
man.
going to you, you know, brother. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna waste my money and say that I'm gonna go with Tabrice and see my money go down the drain. my money looks better with Junior or even Chris. My money looks good. But you, come on,
No,
man.
well appreciated. Well appreciated.
Yeah, big shout out to Ashley. Really important show. 100%, 100%. Let's go on to the second topic. Is the components of making the perfect Vets football team. And again, I'm going to kind of keep this open. I'm very conscious of time. And you know what, Gary, I'm going to start with you as, you know, this again, the self-proclaimed.
Well, I'm gonna just keep it simple with the components, because we're doing with time. Right? Okay. So some of the components I'm gonna go for is like experience. I'm gonna go for leadership, fitness and endurance. I'm gonna definitely pick skill over speed, because we all know that as we get older, speed declines. You know what I mean? So yeah, depth and rotation as well is another one. Helps out the older players with experience. So,
so
I'll give you those. Sorry.
Okay, so my question to you, if we're kind of talking about Vets football, everyone has experience. What are your characteristics that make you the best goalkeeper in the Southern Vets League?
My confidence, my character, my belief. Yeah, that's what makes that. You know, if you say you're the best centre half, but still, you understand.
Gary,
listen, I'm confident.
Gary, you trust the right, Gary. Gary, you trust the
yeah,
come keen over with me online, you know.
You know what I mean? I'm confident in what I'm doing in goal.
I love it.
Yeah, I'm confident. Like I said, it's like to say you're trying to draw me out as if to say, well, I'm not good. I told you last week, there are young goalkeepers better than me, and I can accept that. I.e., Big G is better than me. I can accept that. But in my age group, nah.
General.
It ain't happening. It ain't happening. I'm telling you, it ain't happening. Yeah.
Okay.
All you goalkeepers in that league, if you're better than me, come on this platform and say that you're better than me. But I'm telling you, none of you lot are better than me. So correct the way I'm thinking, if you think I'm thinking wrong. Yeah? Okay. There you go, please. You say something like this on your show and see how many centre halves say that you're laughing. And how many centre forwards just take liberties with you and say, aren't you meant to be the best centre half in the league? I've just scored an hat trick, mate. Do you want me to let you jump out of my back pocket or my front pocket? Come on.
Yes, Gary. Talk it.
Hey, listen. As Junior would say, talk the thing now.
Talk the thing.
Talk the thing, yes.
All right. Okay. So Gary, so with like all of those characteristics, like you've said, out of 10, where would you rank Santos?
Oh Lord, why you can't do this to me, man?
Oh my God!
Why you can't bring up Santos? Why couldn't you pick out another team? You just can't pick out Santos.
Well, it's a team that you're playing for.
Who tell you so I'm playing for Santos?
Breaking news.
Breaking news.
I used to play. I used to play for Santos.
Okay, so that means you can kind of look and so you can like answer the question with a kind of unbiased answer then.
No, I can't. No English. This is what you call loyalty to the end.
Okay. Fair enough.
Something that's very, very rare in today's football nowadays.
Yeah,
Loyalty.
I totally agree.
You understand, Junior?
Nah, 100%. 100%.
This new generation, Junior, they don't know what time it is, brother.
Yeah, 100%. But then that's the mindset of the vets football changing as well. You understand? Because, you know, the components now is everybody wants to compete at a high standard. You understand? So that freshie who's just hit 35, you know, he's because where you say you do choose skill over pace, you know, say that if that young lion who's 35 raw still got the legs on him, yeah, I need him, you know. You understand? Because, you know, he's going to run rings. And that's another typical phrase. Going to run rings around you. You understand? Like, so again, everything that we say is always going to be like, raw. You understand? But again, for you to have that mindset, Gary, if you had that mindset in 11 people, you're dealing with every team. You know why? Because you're not just you're gonna let a man know if that ball comes in your 6 yard, you're gonna let him know. You understand? Like, and you know, these pains, as we've got to an age now, they're a little bit long lasting, so man's gonna be remembering you for the rest of the week. You understand? Like, so again, being a fullback, whatever position that it is, you know, again, the components stem from the management and what he expects. You understand? Because, you know, I'll put it out there, you know, I play for FC Kahua. You understand? Like, and, you know, they're my little brothers. You understand? Like, you know, and the reason why they're my little brothers is because I've watched them grow up from the neighborhood that I've been from. You understand? Like, and the reason why success, I believe, is amongst them a lot more so going forward is because there's a friendship there. You understand? There's a brotherhood there. You understand? Like, and the brotherhood, again, just to throw it out there, doesn't have to be specifically from a black's perspective. It could be from a white's perspective as well. It's still your party, that person that you've watched grow up from away. And even that player that might not be so good, but we got the friendship there. You understand? Like, and, you know, everybody who knew Derek as a young person up and coming knew that he just loved football. You understand? Like, and, you know, where everyone is just together when things are going wrong, it's almost like that togetherness still comes out. And I didn't play one game for them last season, but at the back end of my season coming to an end, to be able to go and watch my young brothers that I've watched grow up with from they were younger, a couple years younger than myself, but again, to see them just going one step further, you understand, and to go the season unbeaten, you understand, like, in any division for you to do that is a testament to the character and the resilience of the team that you have. So the component there straight away is the bond of friendship has to be there, because once you've got friendship, I'm not saying that there's not going to be a disrespect somewhere, but that's got to be hashed out quick. You understand? Like, and in-house, because the old school saying you got to keep your house in order. You understand? So there's some situations that, yes, we can speak openly about, you know, these sensitive topics on a wider platform, but personal subjects doesn't have to be for the limelight. You understand? Them things are in-house. So for me, the main component is having the right type of camaraderie around. That's important. You understand? Because we keep saying, yeah, they're lively, they're buzzing. Wouldn't you want to be in an environment that is lively, that is buzzing, that's giving you a reason when you're spending your money, you know, say you're getting your day's worth out of it as well. You understand? And even knowing that we do turn up to play football with the generals that we've grown up with from round the way, that you don't get to see at the best of time, you know, you got things doing, but it make you want to stay a little bit longer, but you would take the cussing at home just to make sure that you can just keep up with the vibe, you understand? Because you don't know when you're going to get that again. And, you know, it touches base on the mental health side of things more so, because when I was younger, mental health was never spoken about. I'll get a lick round my head. What do you mean? I lick the mental out of you. You understand? What are you talking about? Do you understand? So knowing that just to be in a space, most importantly, as you're getting on later on in all of our lives, is you need to be enjoying. That's the most important thing. So if you're in an environment that is enjoyable, that is lively, that is bubbly, and it makes you want to come back there every single week, you got to stay with that.
100%.
Love that.
Got to
Chris?
stay with that.
Oh, do I need to? No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think togetherness, like Junior just said, like, I think togetherness is a big, big thing. Unity and togetherness is, I think that's quite up there with whatever ability you have, with whatever qualities you bring to the team. If you have a strong togetherness and unity within the team, as a group, you should be able to do a lot. Because if we have good together, like them qualities in the team, I can look to my right, look to my left, wherever it is, and say, I know you're going to run for me today, so I'm going to run for you. I know you're going to put your body on the line today. I'm going to do it for you. You'll get results. Obviously, you need to be coachable. There has to be a point where you're coachable, because if you're being coached and stuff, or something's being passed on to you, you need to be able to take that in to be able to bring that to the pitch. It's pointless having like good qualities. Yeah, we have raw players and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like they can spark the game, but at the same time, they still need to have an understanding of what's being asked of them. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? There's only so much that your rawness can get you out of a game. There has to be a point where you can match both. I'm going to listen to the information, and I'm still going to produce my little bit of magic at times. I think football IQ as well. IQ needs to be that. And what I mean by that is someone, not coaches. If a teammate says something to you, you have a football IQ where you understand they're not digging you out. It just means that they want the best from you and the best for the team. So it's just having that football IQ, being able to turn around and say, oh, you know, all right, cool, I'm good with that, and then get on with it. Do you get what I mean? Where sometimes
Tobias, I've got to answer my door. That's my missus.
Yeah, go on. Yeah, so because I think sometimes with that side of things, people will say something and you'll get your back up because you think they're having a go at you, but it's not. It means that they see something slightly different to what you see. Remember when we play football, sometimes we only see tunnel vision, and that's not because we're meaning it. It just means that within that moment, you just see what you expected, or you just see something that you thought you saw. So when someone says something to you, you got to be able to take that information on, and whether you agree with them or not, just turn around and say, all right, cool. And at the end of the game, maybe pull him aside. So it's not live on the pitch or whatever. Pull him aside and say, oh, do you know, I didn't quite agree with that. Like, let's talk about what you meant. And then we get a better understanding about it. I think sometimes, not just in Vets football, but in football in general, we take the constructive criticism to heart when you're just trying to help your teammates out.
Yeah.
I think also, I think that you need leaders. You need someone. I don't think you need a leader. You need leaders. There needs to be multiple leaders, because your one leader who you're expecting to be the captain may have an off day. So you need someone else that's going to pull the team through, and then that covers your back as well. But if you've got a team with 3 or 4 leaders, you got what I mean? Maybe a spine of leaders, then that helps a lot. I think if we're just talking about, can we add it into? I know we're talking about Vets football, but maybe going on to, like, you know, our coach at Kent United or whatever. So going into that, I think youth and maturity, getting that blend together, because one, the youth will be able to do well, and you know, they're learning. You only learn when you play. You don't learn if you're not put into a situation. So youth, I think, and maturity needs to be in there, because I think what people forget is you get young players that are mature. So when we say maturity, people think older men. Not necessarily. Maturity, you can have a player that's around about 20 years old who plays like a mature adult, who plays like a guy that's been in the game for years. Maturity is very, very important, because it's understanding how to manage themselves on the pitch, manage their teammates, manage the game in a moment. Do you get what I mean? You might need the game to be slowed down a little bit, and having someone that understands the game, because they're maturity, they're able to do that, and then you're able to get yourself back into the game, or you're able to get your team regrouping, and that's where it comes down to being a leader. You know, understanding the game, being coachable. I think they're quite important factors within having a decent. I'm not going to use the word a very good or great team philosophy. I'm going to use it as a decent philosophy, because let's be real. If we was all great, we wouldn't be here now. Do you know what I mean? We'd all be sitting in our big houses, and we'd be multi-millionaires because we've all played professional football. So I'm going to say to make a decent team, whether it's vets or whether it's open age. I think if you can have them sort of components, and I think also having the backing of the people that run the club. If you have a good backing of the people that run the club, and they believe in you, they believe in the team, there's a good mixture there for you guys to go far. And I think that's the good components to having a good, a decent team.
I'm going to kind of throw a question, and again, this is kind of open to anyone regarding vets football. And Chris, you've like said it in terms of being coachable, which I totally understand, and I agree with you. But also, when you're kind of talking about vets football, you are also talking about men 35 plus that have played at whatever level. There's there are like some players that we know that are that were ex-pros, non-league, grassroots. Speaking to a man at 35, 40-year-old in terms of how to pass a ball 30, like 20, 30 yards. Don't you think that's a little bit conducive and a little bit disrespectful to that, to that particular player?
No, not at all. You know why? Because, sorry to cut you, Chris, yeah. But there's been a lot of vet teams that have been going for years. And the reason why they're going for years is because of the evolution of bringing in young talent to sustain the club going further a fetch. Because the generals that have been playing vets long before we were playing vets, they need to keep the club youthful. You understand? By mixing it up, like what you said, Chris, by having, mixing the young and the old together, because you're going to have a player that just might not be so great, but his values are up there. You understand? And he's going to come every week, and he's going to know somebody that might also want to come and jump on that. That might be that coachable player that you're thinking, rah, where have you been? You understand? Like, so again, it's almost like having that player in your team that is not the best. You understand? But will do a job for you. You understand? Like, and if we, like what you said, Chris, using the phrases of good and great, you understand that's the mixture of the Premier League teams that we see every single day, week in, week out. There's great ballers that we know are going to win us the game, and there's great defenders that you're going to throw their body on the line, and there's great keepers, and everyone is entitled to having that one-off day. And again, people are watching you, you understand, all the time, regardless whether it's like now live or whether you've gone to, visually go down and watch a game at any God-given time. Your level of professionalism and your attitude's got to be right, because you just don't know who's watching, and that person could be snapped up for a lot of different reasons as well. You understand? Like, just by the way he conducted himself, you understand? So, to coach somebody to pass at 5-10 yards, to be fair, you wouldn't be wasting your time going in for that particular player anyway. You understand? Because you see those things at training. You understand that that's what training's there for. And I know it's very hard to try and, get everybody to come to training because of the lifestyles that we all live outside of football. But again, when that man turns up and he's still prepared to give you his subscription and his tenner to go down and play, you have to respect it.
100%. I would have to disagree with you, T, because listen, I'm not saying that we're all going to tell each other how to suck eggs. What my point is that we're always learning. You're always learning as you grow. Do you get what I mean? We're not the perfect person.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying that I'm going to come up and play against. But I've played LSU last year. I played with people that play professional football. I'm not going to tell them how to play football, but what we're going to say is that, do you know what? Maybe we can do a little better with that pass. Maybe that pass could be done punched in. Maybe that pass could be done this, done that. And you know what? They'll understand, and they'll turn around and go, yeah, cool, man. Because we've had discussions when I was at LSU, people go, yeah, cool. Do you get what I mean? Like,
but that's an offish day though, isn't it?
Yeah, but that's it. It doesn't mean it happens all the time. But I'm not saying that we're coaching, because let's be real, when you go into a vet's team, you may be coached in the philosophy of what that team is. So, for example, we know that the philosophy of an LSU is they want to move the ball. So you're being coached in how they play a certain way. Not telling you how to pass the ball. I'm not saying to you use the instep of your foot, do this, do that. But what we're going to say is that we're going to play this way, and this is how we're going to work on that. So we're going to work on that in training by doing this, this, and this. So everyone has an understanding of what the pitches are going to be like when you play the game. Do you get what I mean? That's what I meant as in being coachable, whether it's in vet football or being there, because who turns up to, and I know that LSU never did that, and I'm obviously I know Holland don't do it now, but no one turns up to just go, well, I was going to play off a whim. No one does that.
Yeah.
No one comes up, no one turns up to play off a whim in a prayer. We all turn up because we know that this is how we want to play. You're going to join us. You're going to understand that we have this philosophy. One, we work hard. Two, move the ball. Two, we get our shots off and stuff like that. I'm not telling you how to play football, but I'm telling you that's how we play within this team. Whether you are willing to take that on board and do that, mate, you're going to add quality to our team. If you're not, and you think you just don't want to listen to it, then it's pointless being part of us, because us as a unity, that's what we're going to do as a team. And that was one thing that got us over the line last year at LSU, was the fact that everyone bought in to what we wanted to do. Everyone bought in as a team how we wanted to play, and it got us over the line. You know what I mean? We become champions. And that's what I meant by being coachable. And I don't expect everyone to turn around and be like, this is how you play football, this is how you do that. That's not what we're talking about. We're just talking about the philosophy of what the team should be. And as men, we can all turn around and say, all right, cool, I'm going to listen to what you're being said because I want the best for the team. But prime example today, right? Sorry to cut that, but I played in a match today. I didn't score a goal, right? But I worked it, got the shot away, the keeper saved it. My teammate ran up and scored. My teammate turned around, the striker next to me turned around and went, that should have been your goal. I turned around and said to him, no, my teammate scored. I'm happy. As long as my team score, we'll win the game. If I don't score, I don't care. It's just the mindset of what people think. Now, I've brought into the culture of that team that I play for today, as in we just want to win games. And that's what I'm talking about. I don't care if I score a goal. If I ricochet off the post and it comes back to my team, he has to tap in, more happy for that because we're now going to go on and win the game. That's one step closer to us reaching our goal. I don't always need to score every week. As long as we get the result, we get the 3 points, or we get what we want out of the game, I'm happy with that. And I think that's what players have to get into.
And like Chris, what is Hollington's goal for this season?
Sorry?
What is Hollington's goal for this season?
Well, it's to win, isn't it? If it's to win the league. I'll be surprised if anyone can sit there and say that's any team would say they want to win the league, want to win a trophy. That's our goals for this year. We want to be winners. You know what I mean? We want to emulate trophies. We want to be able to walk away and say that we've won the league, we've won this, we've won that. That's what our goals are for this year. We want to win stuff, and I believe that's everyone's goal.
Okay, cool. Big shout out to Stoney. I think that everyone should be open to development, and this is about mature players and those just entering vets football. That is very, very, very true. Big shout out to you, sir. And yeah, you know, I mean, I totally agree in terms of what like everyone said anyway. All of the kind of characteristics, and what I've realized, I think something that what JB said. If I'm paying money, like I'm paying money to play, you know, so I have to enjoy the environment. If I don't enjoy the environment, I'm not going to be there.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, I think it's the only pastime that I'm giving away money and not getting anything back per se in terms of like an investment in terms of money. Like it's the only thing I do that I'm giving away money.
Yeah.
So you know,
but you know what, Tobias, if you combine Hubs's components and you combine Gary's components and you carry your components and you carry my components, there's a perfection there that we're never ever going to strive for, because nothing is perfected, but we work hard to try and perfect it. You understand? So again, there's always going to be room for improvement, and that's why the
100%.
work don't stop. You understand? There's always going to be something to work on. It's like playing football for 95 minutes. There's going to be spells where that team is going to split your team apart. You understand? There's things to be spoken about. You understand? So, you know, again, it always makes it constructive. I think being constructive is also key. You understand? Because people can just say things for the sake of just saying things. You understand?
100%.
And that's where people can get misled as well. Because again, football is based on the typical phrases, the opinions of others. But again, with you being on management as well, Chris, you overstand now because you're on both sides of the coin. You understand that? So it's almost trying to separate yourself from being a friend to them, but you're actually being their boss,
Yeah.
especially if you're paying wages as well. You understand? Because this is why words can't kill you, because it's not personal, it's business. You
It's not
understand? And
100%.
when you're contributing, because it took me out. Listen, I'm still struggling to accept that I'm a vet. You know, I'm. People say, Bakes, you know, yeah, you're a legend in the game, and it's nice that people can, you know, say those kind words about you. But your opinion of me on a football pitch is the last game you saw of me.
Yeah.
That's your highest opinion. And when you get into Vets football, for me, that opinion doesn't really change much because people know what you've done before. So that stays with you. You understand? Whereas where I'm struggling to still kind of accept the Vets football, I still play Saturdays very competitively. You understand? So again, the transition for me has been what has been difficult for me. You understand? So again, I'm just happy to be able to go into any environment knowing that the manners and respect is there.
Yeah.
You understand that? Because again, it's just so key to the way we do things. It's like the jobs that we do outside of football. We're there not only because we enjoy it, but we're there because we got to still remain professional until something better comes along. You understand? You don't want to just leave that team and not knowing that there's another team that you could just jump straight into, because again, like what you said earlier on, Gary, loyalty is very, very hard to find. You understand? Because, you know, trust in all of us can be let down by another person. But again, just because things are not going the way you expect them to go doesn't mean eventually it won't get there. You understand?
Yeah, 100%. Sorry, just the last bit. Like
I mean,
Junior said, being on the other side of the fence now, it's like, I think in vet football, I don't know, I thought it kind of be slightly different because some managers that are in it, they created the team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The team's been created by that person that manages the team. So the pressure that they have is, you know, I think like we said before, it's, are you just turning up to enjoy and socialize with your friends, or you actually turn up to be challenging for stuff? And if you're challenging for stuff, it's how you create that. So the only pressure you kind of have is you're not going to be sacked. You're just, I'm now going to be labelled as that guy. Can I win stuff as a manager? Right.
Yeah.
On the flip side now, where I'm at Kent United, what the players, and this is why I talk about being coachable and all these other things, is that what the players need to understand is that it's not their job on the line, it's ours.
Yeah.
And it's having people that are going to buy into the philosophy of what we want.
Yeah,
because
100%.
if anything goes wrong and you're not buying into it,
Yeah.
some of them can still be there. I'm not going to be there.
Yeah.
So and that's why it's very important that when you're looking at these components, that you're making sure that the players, listen, not every player is going to have every component, exactly what Junior just said, but you're going to have bits and pieces of what we're going to have. And if we can combine them into a group, you know what I mean, hopefully there's a possibility of a winning formula there. Yeah. So that's my 100%. Last take.
Yeah, totally agree.
So true. Again, thank you to everyone that's contributed in the comments. The next topic, and I'm going to start with Chris on this one, actually. Chris, and then JB, and then Gary. Social media for the over 40s. I know, Chris, you're just hanging on to your 30s. You know what I mean? So,
you know what
I'm saying? Like,
listen, I've got a grip on that.
Yo, my drink ran out.
I'm there like this. Man, the struggle's real, bro. I'm struggling.
But the like topic is social media for, like, I'd say, okay, so let's say for the over 35s. let's say like in vets, social media when the kind of explosion happened, it was primarily for like the teens and men and women, especially women in their 20s, selfie sticks, dancing videos, lip syncing and everything else like that. I'm not going to kind of tell you my own opinion about it, but like we all have an influence.
Why not?
No, you know what? We all have an influence, and I would love to get everyone else's.
All right, so we're gonna come back to you. So Gary, I think he said you're last. So once you're finished, we'll jump straight back to Tabriz, and Tabriz is gonna.
Yeah. You know what? Here's the thing now. I'm an old boy, I don't do this social media thing.
All right, so what we'll do then,
this,
Gary,
this Instagram and X and that, it takes up most of your day. Tick.
I hear that.
Their heart, this and that. So let's just forget me.
But there's one thing though, Gary, you know about it though.
No, exactly.
Yeah, no, of course I know about it. Of course I must know about it. I'll generate, yeah, Junior, behave yourself.
Hey, I love it.
Yes, Papa.
What I love about that is Gary was mid-conversation and said, Junior, watch yourself.
The only thing I know about with the social media thing with the people of my ages and that is that we use it to keep in touch with like friends and family and friends that live abroad or live far away. That's the only sort of thing. So you the football thing and everything. Well, I'm not going to me standing there with a selfie. Can you imagine me with a selfie stick? Can you imagine me dancing or something?
I'm the best goalkeeper in the Vets League, in my era, no one can touch me,
Okay, man. I've done that one already, man. It's something.
Sorry.
I've done that one already.
Yeah, but okay, but literally, I would say that your knowledge and your experience has evolved, because there were when I used to play for Independent, I was there like with a camera, and you knew exactly what you needed to do to literally like get like the best clips, because you was right in front of the camera saying exactly what you needed to say. So you are heavily involved in like Vets football regarding the social media side of it. And correct me if I'm wrong.
Not knowingly.
Okay. Well, literally, correct me if I'm wrong. If you saw a man, it could be a woman, but let's say like a man with a selfie stick walking down the road, you wouldn't look twice at that person, because that's just a normal thing nowadays. So you calling Twitter X means that you're in the know, because not a lot of people would know that.
I only know that from the news, man, because Elon Musk, whatever his name is, because of his untimely comments. And they say, he's the owner of X, which was formerly Twitter. That's the only reason why I know. Someone of my age watches the news. Yeah,
we don't call it X, we call it Twitter still.
Veteran, you're picnic. Chris, I'm not going to be funny with you. You're picnic for me.
No, I'm not talking about you, Gary. I'm saying in general, we don't call it X, we call it Twitter.
Oh, I beg you.
No, I won't talk about you. I'm talking about in general. Like,
I beg.
I would never. I'm never calling it X. It's Twitter to me, and it still is Twitter.
I beg your pardon, but like I said, that side of it ain't for me, man.
Yeah, no, that's fair, man. That's fair.
Okay, the Wizard.
Sorry.
Oh no, sorry, Gary. Continue. Apologies.
I'm just sort to make my own sort of video or whatever, just for the races in the video in Vets football, to let them know that the revolution will be televised.
I'm here for it.
Yeah,
that's
all I would say. Something like that. The revolution will be televised.
That's it, man.
I hear that. The Wizard.
Yo.
I'd love to get your opinion, man. And and again, that's how we started talking. And literally, that's the first place I saw you was on socials.
Yeah. I don't see a problem with it. It's today's society, isn't it? Like, social media is what everyone does. Each to their own. People do it for, you know, people do it for health. People do it for mental health. People do it for sports. You know, like loads of different things. Like today's society is you sit in front of a camera, you either talk to it, or you interact with people, or you just record something. For me, I'm all for it. You know, we've got to get with the times. I'm all for it. You know, Junior's gonna come on in a minute and talk about, but Junior does great videos. Listen, me and Junior I've drove, and me and Junior talks about what he does, and I love it. Like I don't want him to stop. Like what he does every morning, I can see them videos every morning, and it makes me smile every single day. I see him, it makes me smile because one, he's sharing positivity, which is not always something you're going to find on social media. A majority of the stuff on social media sometimes is negative. So when you're waking up or when you're going to your phone and you see someone like Junior with a big smile on his face, you know, giving nothing but positive energy, I'm all for it. Because for me, I'm all for positive energy, man. And it's even better that it's someone I know. And I want nothing but the best for my people that I know. You know what I mean? I want them to shine. I want them to be better. And if there's anything that I can do to help them do that, I'll do it. Whether it's sharing on social media, being part of it, I'm all for it. For me personally, the one thing I found difficult with it was, you know, I played for the Wall, was on social media every week, you know, whether it's YouTube, whether it was Twitter, Instagram, you know, and that was never, listen, not that I didn't like it, because that was what I chose to go into, and what we produced with that team I thought was brilliant. You know, we had great people behind the scenes working their socks off to make sure that we got the best to share. And then lo and behold, a name stuck. You know what I mean? You're still calling me it now. You know, I don't look at myself as that, but it's what people see me as. And that's all thanks to them. You know, that's helped with my coaching pages. You know, I go on social media and I'm posting videos of me coaching. I'm big, like you said, I'm not 40 yet, but I'm 39. And I'm on there as much as I am posting myself doing coaching sessions. People might look at it and have an opinion like, oh, that's terrible. Or, you know, people might like it. It all depends. You know what I mean? One thing about life is everyone has an opinion. At the end of the day, we're not always going to agree. I don't sit here, what we're saying today, I don't expect people that are on the live to always agree with us. You know what I mean? We all have a different opinion, and it is what it is. The one thing I found hard about the social media stuff was being able to keep up with it. So, for example, being able to keep up with the withered, as you would say, image. So, finding stuff to post, being able to post so that not only was I trying to keep the vibes and, you know, the attention on us as a club at the Wall, but also being able to try and keep the name The Wizard alive. Because the reason being was not so much for myself, because we've had conversations. I'm not good with cameras. I'm not good, like, we already know. Me being here now is a big boost for me, because I've never would have done this before. So it was more about keeping the Wizard alive for the Wall. So for them to be able to still have something to produce for the viewers, you know, whether that fell into a thing where people respected me for it, you know, I'm so grateful. And I appreciate every single person that has always bigged me up and, you know, showed love, not only just for myself as me, but also calling me the Wizard. Like, I don't go around calling myself that. I would never, you know, I might put in a little hashtag and stuff like that, but that's just to try and help my viewings and my ratings going up on my coaching page, you know, because I want the best for me as a coach, you know, and that helps me with, one, my quality of me as a coach, but also people realizing who I am and, you know, putting me out there and people wanting to come and be coached by me. So be it. But that's why I do it. I don't do it because I want to be in the limelight. I want to be this big star. You know, people go, oh my God, Chris, the Wizard, da, da, da. It's more about, let's be real, we do it to benefit ourselves at sometimes. And that's the selfishness that I do. If it's bad of me. But that's the one bit of selfishness that I do, is the fact that I do a lot of the social media stuff because I want to bring light to what I do as a coach. Not so much as me as my personal life, you know. I have my own personal account. I may post certain things, you know. If when I was at LSU, when we had videos come out, yeah, I would post that because I'm at in LSU. I want people to know who LSU are, not just always about me. I'm trying to bring people along with me, you know. So if I can bring them along my journey, so be it. And if I can use that with the Wizards name, so be it. I'll do it. I don't have an issue with it. I think if we look at today's society, like you just said, you're going to see people walking down the road with selfie sticks and all this. That's life. I just think that we, as, you know, people, we just need to grow with the times, because otherwise we'll be, like I think you mentioned before, we'll be stuck where we are. And you know, I'll continue to do it. I'll continue to post my stuff. I'll continue to be myself. At the end of the day, sometimes I don't do it for people to like me. I do it because maybe at that time I wanted to post it. I wanted to post me. You know, I was on holiday recently. I sat in a fake Game of Thrones chair. I didn't post it because people. I'm looking, sitting there going, "Oh, I need people to like this." And no, I posted it because at that time I thought, I sat in a Game of Thrones chair. I love Game of Thrones. I'm going to post it. Do you get what I mean? And I think that's where we need to get better understanding of it. Sometimes people will say, "Oh, you're just posting it because you want likes and this and that." No, maybe I just wanted to. Maybe I just wanted to put it out there. And if people like it, they like it. I don't. At the end of the day, I think what we need to understand is we don't have to always care about what people think, because then if we did do that, we would never do anything. If we all sat there worrying about what's this person going to think about this, what comment am I going to get about this, and I know it's hard. People have had bad experiences from social media. I'm not saying it's easy, but I think we need to kind of learn how to just turn around and go, forget that. I'm doing it for me. You know what I mean? I'm not doing it for anyone else. Sometimes I'm doing it for myself. And that's my take on it.
Yeah. Love that. And JB, again, like as I kind of mentioned at the start of the show, you know, it was your Twitter handle that just kind of drawed me in. And again, it's inspiring to see someone that is unapologetic about what they say, how they dress, and again, you know, let's be absolutely real. There's a and again, please, like, correct me if I'm wrong, like anyone in the panel, there's a, you know, I'm actually going back to the stereotype. There's a kind of stereotype of black men, especially, that we're hard, tough, and like we've got to keep a straight face all the time, and literally we take everything in, and like us joking around, us dancing, us, you know, just kind of doing certain things with a phone in our hand, it's not acceptable. And again, JB, I'd love to get your really important.
Sorry, is that, are you saying? But we need to get a better understanding. It's not acceptable. People will maybe think that it's not acceptable just for men to do that. Maybe not just always black men. I think in general, to see, some people might turn around and be like, to see a man dancing around in front of the screen, they're going to be like, what are they doing that for? Do you get what I mean? I do get your point. I do get your point. Just me being devil's advocate. But I think sometimes it falls into a thing of men in general shouldn't be doing certain things like that, because that's not how men portray themselves. Men portray themselves, as like you just said, as hard and all this. But that's just what I thought might be.
I mean, you know, I mean, literally, I've had video ideas, and I've spoken to like literally all of my friends, black, white, Asian, and literally my white and Asian friends think, you know, that's hilarious. Like, I can see what you're doing, da da da. And some of my black friends are like that as well. Think, yeah, you know, I can see what you trying to do. But I get a little bit more pushback from some of my black friends thinking, right, you know, like, people will look at you differently, you know, like if you like, what do you mean by, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's but you know, again, you know, it's kind of not even about me. I'd love to get JB's opinion.
It's about you in a minute, don't worry.
JB, man.
Yo, talk the thing. Skin TT. Big up your chest.
Every time.
Every time. And you know what? That's why it's every time, man. You know what, Chris? There's one thing that you said that stuck with me, man, is having the time. You understand? And man, consistency is not easy, you know.
No.
It's not easy, you know. I'm actually having a timeout at the moment. I think this is the longest I've been on social media during this half term. Well, 6 weeks holiday because I work in a school. You understand? Like, so when I send out daily affirmations, personally for me, when it's half term breaks and 6 weeks, that's when I get time to myself. You understand? Because I try to regroup and refresh my mind. You know, when I'm at work and I'm, you know, going out every morning. Like, I'm a morning person. You understand? Like, from young, I was a morning person. You know, my nan would get us up in the morning, you know, wakey, rise and skin your teeth. You understand? And skin to teeth just stuck. You understand? So when, you know, every morning I get up, God rest my nan's soul, the first person I salute is my nan. You understand? Because like I said, I'm back from that back end generation. You know, my mum had me very young, and I was passed to nanny and granddad to help out my mum while she finished off schooling, and you know what I mean. So to grow up with them foundations, every morning I'm up, I'm lively. Catch me in the morning. Hey, listen, my house hate it. You understand? Because not everybody's a morning person. You understand? Like, oh, leave me. You know, why are you like that? And again, Chris, going back to what you said, a lot of people have said, you know, why are you like that? And again, to Bryce as well, you know, some of your friends have been, you know, quite obscured about the things that you choose to do. You understand? And, you know, social media in today's time, Gary, especially, it's about awareness. You understand? You're more aware of what's going on in and around you because there's so many different occupations that are advertising businesses as well. Especially if you want to start a business, social media is the best thing in the world for it because you're trying to promote yourself. Again, what you said, Chris, you know, you're now coming into a coaching role. You're currently doing managing as well. You know, you've had a name that people identified you with. Why don't you call something the Wizards? They would understand, right? Is that Chris? You understand? So again, you've got to put it out there for people to be aware from it. And you know what? Everything good, there's bad with it as well. You understand? So again, social media is definitely something that, you know, can be used and it be very damaging. And as I said before, you know, words can't kill you and time passes. But for me personally, you know, to keep sending out positive affirmations doesn't only help myself, but because I work with young people, I don't see why if there's not one I might be able to reach out with, why is there not 2, 3 or 4? You understand? And you know, the things that I've learned to do, because it hasn't been easy being in front of a camera, you know, giving it a little wiggle in the morning, you understand, to try and lift up the mood of that one person for them to aspire to become something great. You know, I've had messages from people that I've just never known of or never come on my radar, and they said thank you. You understand? You know, that was needed or that really helped me. You understand? Like, and you know, we've all got hidden talents. You understand? Like, and rather than being ashamed of wanting to do something that is positive and constructive, nothing should be able to hold you or hold you back from that. And it could be financially that funds might not be there to be able to facilitate certain things, but you know, I'm a strong believer that my time will come. You know, something will, because I do this for free. I don't get paid to try and send out positive affirmations every day. You understand? Like, you know, and I do what I do because I can do it. You understand? And you know, if you took the teeth of I can't, what do you get? You understand? And if you took the teeth of I won, what do you get? You understand? So again, it's almost trying to slice that negative all the time, especially trying to get comfortable with the uncomfortable when things are going wrong. Because you will see in today's time, I see so many people with their phones out and they're not even watching where they're crossing the road.
No.
Because they're so gravitated to what is the in thing. And taking a phone off of a child, especially in today's time, that child could turn around and want to fight you, like what you said earlier on about you reckon you could be disrespectful to your elders. You understand? So the power of social media, if it's exposed to a child at such a young age, that is all they're going to be programmed in, that I need that, you know, physical engagement in front of me, because conversations don't happen as much as they used to. Look how we are having this conversation. This is the power of social media again. So if you're using it in a constructive way, your time will come. And that's why I said you hear more no's than you hear yeses. It's like most clubs that we all play football in, some clubs are fortunate to have the VO. So you can actually look, and when you're telling a man, like what you said, Chris, about trying to coach that young player as well, you're actually telling him and making him see the reasons why you said what you said. And not every team is fortunate, again, to have those financial backings. But when you're doing something positive and you're doing something constructive, it does take time, but I'm a strong believer of slowly but surely. It's got to keep trusting in the process. You understand? Because it's a generational thing now. Like what you said before, Gary, you know, my nan and my granddad, God rest their soul, I don't think they would know how to operate a computer. You understand? Because back then it was typewriter and diary. You understand? Is where they document things. And, you know, some of us, even the age that we are now, still use a diary just to try and keep ourselves organized. But rather than have the diary, you can use the notes in your phone. So you're referring back to this handheld gadget. I wish I created that thing. You understand? You know, make some serious money, you know? But again, why can't you try and work with someone to help create the mind of coming up with something new? Because there's so many things that social media can do, and there's so many things that people can gravitate to that are so moving. And for me, knowing that every morning that I'm just on a high and I just want to send that, you know, just some love in the air, it's not easy, man, because it doesn't mean what you see, what I do means there's some mornings that I generally don't want to say good morning to anybody. You understand? But when you started something, even during the half term, when I'd kind of just taken my time out, you wouldn't believe that I had messages saying, where's my morning video? Because people are looking forward to maybe seeing something to kind of G them up or uplift them, you understand? So again, I keep it up. And again, like what you said, Chris, it's about moving with the time. Because if you don't move with the time, you will sadly get left behind. And, you know, although tomorrow is no promise to none of us, you want to know that you lived and you did what was needed to do to make yourself happy. You understand? And I'll be honest with you, when I leave that morning video, you know what? I spend on average, I would say an hour and a half on social media per day. And more time that is genuinely uploading. And when you're uploading, you might just see something that might throw your attention, you understand? And you might like it, you know what I mean? And, you know, or you send a message, you know, and again, you know, I guess I like to say that everyone has got a small little bit of autism in them, you know, a thing that you like doing, a structure of organization is what I'm saying. And, you know, my thing is being consistent. So I got to live by what I stand for. You understand? And I'm telling you, man, tested with it every day. You understand? Because again, I like to be organized. You understand? And when things are not organized, I get agitated. Do you understand? And I try to find a way of trying to help support organize that then so it can be right. And it's all about what I was saying before about trying to be around people that are going to help elevate you and get the best out of you. So when we talk about, you know, the power of social media now, many people generally gravitate more to negative things than they do to positive things.
That's what it's used for.
You know, you walk on the street and there's someone that may have tripped over and fell, and someone's got their phone out recording that already before they've gone over to say, look, are you okay? You understand? You know, and that is like, wrong. Why didn't you help me first? Why are you trying to show my embarrassment publicly or wherever you're showing it? You understand? Because you're supposed to ask people for permission before you record them. You understand? And it's like where Chris, where you're in management now as well, not everywhere you may go, you are allowed to use the VO because of safeguarding reasons. You've got children around as well. Do you understand? So many people actually abuse social media more than they use it constructively. Because most of the videos that you see people highlighting and throwing in our group chats, you understand, like, again, you're accountable for what you have in your phone. You are accountable for what you have in your phone. I can't turn around and say, boy, you know what? Yeah, man, that was flung in the chat still. So why you still got it? You understand? Because again, you've seen something, you don't agree, you delete it and you move on. Do you understand? So again, it's all about taking accountability. And if I can uplift anybody in any capacity to, you know, change the mood for a positive, listen, I've served my purpose for the day. You understand? Because like I said, the day keeps continuing. And you understand? No, we don't know when our sell by date is. You understand? So again, if I can uplift any one of you three or anyone that you know in any capacity, they might not even say to you, but they might just feel that, wow, hang on a minute. Yeah, I did watch a video that Junior did, you know. And, yeah, I ain't even gonna lie, you know. I kind of, well, what's he doing? You understand what you choose to take from it, like what you said, Chris. You're just highlighting that you was somewhere, you done something, you saw something that you enjoyed, you actually support the show. Why not put it up? To me, I'm on my way to work in the morning. I've got my nice little spot, whether it's rain, sun, snow, sleet. I got my umbrella, I got my bigger coat on, and I'm saying good morning to you. You understand? Because that's just me also uplifting myself, most importantly, because
100%.
not every day is all smiles. And you understand, let's be real. There's not a person in the world like that. You understand? Who just wakes up every morning is just smiling. You understand that? But I find it. You understand? And I think about something positive and what mind am I going to be able to help and support today? You understand? Yeah. And again, that's just me being a teacher and looking after them children like they were my children. You understand? So again, social media is evolving. That next young person coming up in the Vets football, whether they're bang on 35, 36, they might be able to change the infrastructure of how that club is viewed and shown, because they're moving with the time. They already understand how to move things. Because again, with the videos that I've done, it weren't an hour and a half that I was spending before. It was longer than that, because I'm finding ways of trying to learn this thing now. You understand? Where I'm trying to crop the video down, and then before you know it now, you're becoming a more of an expert at your own thing, what you're doing. You understand? Like, and because there's so many different social media platforms that adding things on, it's time consuming. You understand? And if you want to put out something good, at least make sure it is good something that you're putting out. You understand? Because again, it don't make sense rushing something and then you're not happy with it, because nobody wants to publicize something that doesn't look great. You understand? So again, you know, it's all about the individual. And you know, where I'm a manager of myself, I manage my Sunday team. I've got the VO, I've got the drone, but I've got the kit, and I got the balls, and I got the first aid bag, and I got the water bottles. You need help and support sometimes when you're doing things. And there's nothing wrong in asking someone, can you help me, or can you show me how to do? You understand? Because we're not all built to know it all ourselves. And this is why what you said, which is key, Chris, about constructive criticism. You understand? We say this is men's football, but it isn't. There's a whole heap of boys in there as well you don't really understand. And there's some grown-ass men out there as well who move like grown-ass children, you understand? Because they're not accepting the fact that I'm an elder now. You understand? Let's be real. Chris, I'm older than you, but we are all middle-aged men. Me and you are middle-aged. We say our life expectancy these days is, you know, 76, 80s. You understand? We're half that age.
Yeah, we needed that.
Do you understand? So I don't want to be the typical person to say what my elder is. My elder's my elder. You understand? So again, are you enjoying what you're doing? Do you understand? That's the key in your job. That's the key in your home. That's the key if you're putting yourself out there in a limelight. You understand? Because you're going to be subject to criticism, and that's what social media is. It's a criticizing world. You understand? I've been very fortunate not to have, you know, someone say I don't like that or that's not true. You understand? Like, again, what you choose to take from what other people do is generally down to you. And I said it before, if you don't like something, you don't have to entertain it. If you don't like a TV show that we've all grown up watching, what are you watching it for? You understand? So again, you have to try and process your mind in doing other things. But social media can be so damaging as well, and it has been damaging for lots of different reasons. You know, whether you're a religious person as well, Christmas Day, is a prime example of social media. Because if you said to everyone in that house that no one's going to be on the phone for the next 3 hours, oh God, hell broke loose. No, but I'm being for real. Because where's the camaraderie? Where's the conversation? Because everyone's like this.
Mhm.
Everyone's like that, and no one's talking. And if they are talking, are they listening? Do you understand? And then did you hear what I said? So there has to be a time that you have to put the social media down as well. You understand? Because before you know it, you know, I guess if there's any women on the chat, it's not a stereotype thing, but what's it? Candy Crush. That's the best thing that happened to you. Because you've got something that you can keep yourself ticking over, but that is so time consuming. And I'm not saying men don't play the game as well, but before you know it, oh yeah, I just play one quick game and that. And before you know it, you're there for hours.
Mm.
So social media can also take up your time as well. You understand? So again, it's all about keeping yourself organized and keeping things constructive. And, you know, like I said, we could be here talking a lot longer and, you know, but the reality is that, you know, everything what you've all said today has an important factor. You understand? And for those that are watching as well, I like to say you're important. You've got the capabilities of being the best that you can be. It will take time. No one's perfect, but strive for perfection.
100%.
100%.
Strive for perfection.
Facts. What a show. What an amazing show. What an amazing show.
So Bryce, you said it was going to be 1 hour.
That's what I thought, man. Long thing. Listen, okay, you know,
I blame Chris, you know.
Proper long thing.
What did I do?
You know what? But Chris did say before we went live, look, like if the conversation's flowing, boy, like an hour could be a little bit off the mark.
No, but you see what I'm saying? Constructive things can end up being enjoyable.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand? That's what constructive brings. It brings enjoyment. So if you're going into any of the teams that you're going into now, for anyone that is watching and you know that the vibe is right and you're feeling like it's a sense of constructiveness that is going on, you want to be a part of that. And if you feel that there's things that you might be able to bring to the table to help elevate that and make it better, say something. Because networking is empowering right now. Because a man knows a man who knows a man. And if you carry yourself in the right way, someone will help you as well. You understand? I was I think I spoke to you about this the other day, to Bryce, where I was looking for sponsorship. You understand? And I was thinking, rah, man, I'm a nice person though, man. I don't wish no badness on nobody. You understand? Like, I just cut and go through. You understand? I love everybody. I've got time to make for people if people want the time. Do you understand? I will find the time for it. However, I'm thinking, what? You know, I'm reaching out to certain people and I'm like, rah, they're not helping me, you know. But you know what? No one is obliged to help you. No one is obliged to help you. They might say they're going to, but don't hang on to that, because if plan A don't work, you still got another 25 possibilities, you know. Because there's plan B, there's plan C, but you want to focus solely on plan A. It's like us all aspiring to be footballers. We all tried to make it, but when we didn't make it, so we got stuck in a transition of, oh my gosh, what are we gonna do? Like, I got to go work and graft. Like, I got to contribute to my house, or I got to get kicked out. You understand? But again, it's always having the mindset of creating possibilities and making the environment that you're in homely. It's like me at work. Listen, you see in my office, I've got my finer things that I want to help me get through my day. My office is my home. It's clean. That's how I like to be, you understand? So again, wherever you go, if there's anything you can do to help a situation, to benefit others, especially when you're around them as well, keep shining, man.
Yeah, man.
Keep shining.
Big shout out to Katie. Yeah, you know, so, and I want to keep this brief. So, yeah, boy, okay. So Katie, and big shout out to Joe as well, man. So Katie and Joe, I connected via TikTok, and I'm gonna kind of keep what I want to say short. Yeah, and I got a shout out Katie and Joe, man. Joe is someone who will DM me or text me and say, to Reese, you know what? Check yourself. And he like does it in a way where he is looking out for, he's like looking out for me because he knows. And again, I've only known Joe for about a year or something, but he knows of the work that I've done before. Like with you guys, like you guys know of the work that I've done before this, and exactly what everyone keeps saying: consistency, discipline, commitment, like the burnout, the on days, the off days, like the ideas. Like it's a circle, and you know that circle can be vicious. Sorry, apologies. 2 years. And again, social media for me has given me so many opportunities. The like opportunities of meeting you guys, the opportunities for me to meet Katie, who literally loves Blackburn. And again, we like have our conversations. Joe, that I've met through TikTok, and we've actually physically met as well. You know what I mean? And she, when we've met, there's no, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's as if I've known him for 4 years, 5 years, because of who we are. And also, I believe positivity attracts positivity.
Yeah, 100%.
But also as well, I've had the negative side. I've had the crazy texts where I've looked and I'm thinking, right, like you really like, trust me, I've had the crazy texts. And again, myself, brother Gary and brother Chris, we kind of did a show in the studio. Amazing conversation. However, in the comments, there was a comment that came, and it was a negative comment, which is cool because, of course, everyone had, you know, literally everyone is entitled to what they're saying. But I'm thinking, okay, so you've watched the whole show, like an hour and 50 minutes, but you know, you couldn't be positive about certain things. You just literally single something out, which is cool because you know what? It's good for the algorithm. I've got to be strategic here. Any comment, like social media can't really distinguish what's good or bad. So, you know, of course, I'm kind of interacting with this person, and I think I know who it is anyway, but let me not go there. But again, it's about making sure that you put your authentic self out there, as well as keeping some back for yourself. Because I've suffered from burnout, and I've said to myself, right, you know, I have to step away from this for 2-3 weeks. I've literally been on the phone, crying my eyes out, thinking, right, you know what, I'm just done. Like I am exhausted. And then I've been on the phone and I'm on top of the world because of certain things that are happening. So for me, social media is an amazing tool. Honestly, like without social media, I won't be speaking to you three amazing, influential men that aren't, honestly, it's a kind of, it's just humbling that you guys even want to spend time, because again, like we can't get our time back. We can't get the 2 hours back. Apologies.
2 hours.
No, but true though.
You're making it quick. Just like, listen, make it quick so I can come off the thing. Yeah? And make Junior can come off the thing. And
boy, I'm blessed, man.
But like you just said, yeah, like not once, can't speak for anyone else, but not once have I sat here tonight or whenever we've done anything like this, have I turned around and gone, it's an hour and a half or 2 hours of my time I can't get back. I chose to be here. I chose to be here.
Yeah.
So that's a positive in itself. I think you're right, we can't get our time back. But at the end of the day, we've learned something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I call it time well spent.
This is it. Time well spent. And like, remember what I said earlier, we're always learning. We're always learning.
You know what it is, and literally, like sometimes I don't think people actually believe, like, I genuinely want everyone to succeed. Genuinely, I want people, because literally I've gone through certain things through like social media, like I've taken some wrong turns. I've had people give me bad advice, and I'm thinking, right, like, I don't want people to like.
No, you have to make me get my charger from a phone.
You know what I mean? Like,
What I'm saying.
honestly, I genuinely want people to succeed. Genuine. I will support this person. I will support that person. I will literally support whoever it is. There's one thing that I will say though. I will only support you if you're willing to, if you're willing to do the work. And literally, when I say I'm doing the work, just taking just the one step or the two steps is cool. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like, again, actions speak louder than work.
100%.
Ben at words. Trust me, Nick. I'm here to support as many people as possible. Honestly, I can't say that like more, literally more anyway. Still, so yeah. But again, like I know like the pitfalls. I know that again, negativity sells. I'm not gonna go down that, that alleyway. Also, as well, we all know because we are of a generation where your tone of voice will dictate how certain things will run. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If I'm gonna go to my friend's house back in the day, how I approached my friend's dad will dictate if he's gonna come out and play. If I, literally, if I kind of go with him with a kind of correct tone of voice or, literally incorrect body language or whatever, I'm not seeing my friend for at least 2-3 days. You know what I mean? And literally sometimes people get lost in Twitter beef, in Instagram beef, in like, whatever it is. And literally that's something that I just don't indulge in.
Me too, Well, if there's one thing I don't accept is foolishness. Yeah. I don't tolerate foolishness, man. You understand? Because again, you can find yourself almost getting sucked into something that's just got no concern to you. You understand? Like it's like seeing things and not seeing all of the thing, and then making a comment about it, and then eating your words. You understand? Because again, even I'm quite obscure with the things that I like as well. Do you understand? Because again, someone can see what you like. You understand? Like, so again, it's so techie, Chris. You understand? It's what people choose to. I'm sorry, not to throw you out there, Gary, but he's a old boy, so young people are talking, isn't it?
But Junior, what you're right, 100%. And what we got to understand is as well, right? The thing with like before we finish, the thing about social media is clicks, likes, comments, and all that. The way you get entertainment or the way people get likes or people get feedback is by negativity. What you got to remember is, social media is a following vibe. Don't mean just by clicking and following someone. I mean someone can say something, and at that, and they can say it at that precise moment that something's happening, and everyone will jump on it, and then that's it. Bang, 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 bang. Everyone's following that vibe, and everyone's got something to say. Yeah. When that something is being said that doesn't fit the narrative, that's when it gets lost in a crowd.
Yeah.
What you got to remember is, one thing I've learned about social media is when you go on social media, how many times, rarely, barring, let's just mainly go back to Twitter, right? How many times rarely do you go onto Twitter and you always see something positive?
Yeah, that's true.
How many times do you go onto Twitter and you see majority of it's negative? This happened, and then what happens? Someone who's behind a fake profile or something like that will then jump on that and then say something, and that's it, and everyone will just follow the trend because they've got something to say about that situation.
Yeah.
Social media, I can't imagine social media was brought in for that reason, right? Obviously, social media is brought in for people to share their experiences and share their feelings and whatever like that. And everyone, like we always said, everyone is entitled to their opinion. I'm never going to turn around and say, you can't have an opinion. Listen, if I don't agree with your opinion, that doesn't mean I don't like you. It just means that at that precise moment, I just don't agree with what you're saying. Prime example, you said something earlier, T. I turned around and said, I'm not sure if I agree with that. But that doesn't mean I don't like you. It just means that that precise thing that you said, I just don't agree with. But what we've got to understand is that someone won't agree with it, but then someone will add something to it. And then what's going to happen is everyone else will jump on it, because what you'll find is everyone else that wanted to say something was waiting for someone to start it. Then the moment that someone started it, everyone will jump on it, because now they're not the only person. And that's what I've noticed about social media,
Yeah.
right?
You're drawn
And I've
in.
experienced negativity with it. But you know what I did? I just ignored it. Why am I entertaining that? Because the fact of the matter is, you're not gaining, that's not going to help me gain anything in my life. Listen, back in the day, I would have jumped on it and argued, but I learned the hard way. I just turned around and said, I'm not going to entertain it because you're not going to benefit my life by me jumping on social media and having a debate with you. Because at the end of the day, there's some people you just can't debate with. There's some people you can't talk life with. There's some people you can't talk football with. We just need to understand who them people are. And then once you get an understanding with that, you'll be able to have these sort of conversations with like-minded people. Listen, I'm not saying we're all right. I'm not going to turn around and go, everything we've said tonight is absolutely spot on. People in the comments, people that are going to watch this are going to turn around and say they don't agree. That's fine. I'm not going to hold you against that. But if you want to have a conversation with me about it, feel free to contact me and we can have a adult conversation. But what you'll find is, remember, and they call them trolls. There's people out there that are just out there to be trolls because they want to feel like they're something, or they want to feel they can throw out a bad vibe. And that's where we've just got to skip past them sort of things.
So true, so true. Big shout out to Joe Evans. I would have loved to get. Loved to have got involved in this. I'm very passionate about racism and spreading love and support and education. Football can help make that happen. It's very, very, very true.
No, you're totally right, Joe. I totally agree, man. And this is the power of establishments. You understand that, there are so many, not even just football. I know we're on the subject of football, so let's stay there. But again, the power of football is empowering. You understand? Because people turn up like advocates and activists. They turn up to stadiums and they've got all kinds of banners going on. You know what I mean? To raise awareness. You understand? And this is why I said social media is just awareness. If you want to put something out there publicly, it can be publicly seen. You understand? And again, I'm all good for everything positive that anyone's doing, I've had people. What do you mean, who does junior support? Are you talking about football team?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, he is, yeah. He's an Arsenal fan.
Are you an Arsenal fan?
Boy, see, Chris, I've known Chris for, you know what, it's funny, because I knew Chris before social media. You know what I mean? So, again, knowing that Chris is doing amazing things from what I see on it as well, it just goes to show how far we've grown up. You understand? Because again, I don't have to meet Chris to see Chris. You understand? And just like what you said, Gary, about communicating with family back home, waiting for that long postcard done long time. You understand? You got the WhatsApp now, and again, that again is social media. You understand? So again, using it to communicate effectively is also empowering as well. You understand? Because going to the telephone box many a moons ago, trying to dial in someone's house number. You know what I mean? Like to try and strike conversation. How far we've gone away with not having no calling credit, but you've got Wi-Fi. You understand? To be able to make a call without having any, when your bill, for those who might not have paid it on time, you can still actively, you understand? So again, there's a lot to be grateful for having the powers of social media. Because let's be honest, I believe during lockdown, without social media, it could have been a lot different in a lot of spaces. Do you understand? Because people were, subject to cracking under pressure. Do you understand? The finer things that you were used to or accustomed to, you couldn't have it. You understand? People wanted to render their homes and you couldn't do it because, you understand? So loads of factors to be able to, now appreciate, for you guys to come on and spend your time. Do you understand? And again, time well spent, anybody will, gravitate to good things. Some people, it takes a lot slower than others. Just like what you said to Bryce about, people, casting judgment. Listen, words can't kill you. You understand? And again, people are going to say things. Someone might say something, you understand? But you know what? I use that as constructive criticism. You understand? And I'm subject to wanting to channel, why would that person want to say that? All right, what is it about me that I could fix as well? Because like what you said, Chris, everyone likes to use this word, just take the L or you lost. You understand? We're all born winners, but you're not going to win in everything. So
Right.
be very careful and wise about the battles that you choose to go into, because not every battle you're going to win. You understand? I still believe that you should be always subject to be open to say how you feel, because that's important. You know, the days of children being seen and not heard is gone now. You understand? Everybody wants to be heard. And this is why there's always that typical phrase that we say, yeah, this is men's football, live and no, this is boys' football. You understand? You know, and we have to be always, you know, seen to be the bigger person in some environments now, because the people that have been playing vets for a long time, the way that they communicate now to where the youngsters are coming upwards that way now, you know, there's going to be clashes there. You understand? Because you're, as an elder, you're talking to me like, you know, you're my son. But as a younger up and coming, I'm just here to play football and get on with it. You understand? Like, I don't know you like that. You understand? So people are always going to be sheepish about how they approach you and how they come across. But again, we're all approachable. You understand? We're all approachable. And again, we just have to be able, like what you said, the key word you said already to Bryce is be authentic all the time, every time, because people will see through you eventually. You understand?
Yeah,
and we've been there, done that. So,
100%.
to Bryce,
Yeah, man.
boy, you made my Sunday evening, you know.
Let me quickly go through like the comments. Big shout to Joe. Hopes you are correct. Know where your energy is best. And Joe put a comment before saying social media follows the same construct as the news. Bad news makes the news. I've always followed true, organic, nice people. And you know what, Joe, you're absolutely right. I can't have two gunners on the same chat, man. That's sacrilege. That's just nuts.
I don't think Bryce knew that I was a gunner.
What's Joe's problem? Is Joe a spud?
Hang on a minute, to Bryce. Who does Joe? Who do you support, mate?
Portsmouth.
All right,
Pompey. All right. Yeah. One of the
you won the FA Cup.
Look at that. When he said Pompey, I was like, oh, okay, all right. That's why he's all right.
Yeah, I was saying, you know, he's
if he said anything else, that would have been on for another 2 hours.
You know what? Yeah.
No.
You know what's so interesting? Yeah, about vets football, when we talk about the Man Uniteds, the Arsenals, the Tottenhams, the Liverpools, the Chelseas. You know what's so much interesting about this particular debate, right? Can you not genuinely name a Manchester City fan in your era?
No.
In my era, no.
So when I say in your era, like obviously your age range and above,
Yeah,
Chris.
No.
You see what I mean? Like, so it's like, you know what? No matter what happens with Arsenal, Tottenham, Chelsea, Man United, Liverpool, like it's almost like it's whatever City, innit? You know what I mean? Like, but when we lose that, it's like it's a madness.
100%, man. 100%.
It's true.
But them fans are coming though.
Mm-hmm.
They're coming in our children.
Mm-hmm. And at Hubs, Danes Scarlett. I'm guessing he's part of Spurs.
Yeah, he's a youth player. He's gone on loan.
Yo, listen, here what? How about we stick a pin in this? Huh? You know, match of the day's gonna start soon.
All right, okay, cool.
He's gone on loan to Oxford or something like that. He's not with Tottenham at the moment. He's gone on loan this year. So
hang on, let me run and just get my other charger. Hang on.
It's good.
To answer what Joe said, with the introduction of Solanke now, and then obviously if Richarlison is fit, I couldn't see Scarlett getting much playing time, hence why he's now gone on loan. I think if we didn't get another striker in, so like if Solanke didn't come in, I believe that there would have been a possibility of him maybe coming alone. But then, is it there's a new player? I know you guys are. I know guys is an Arsenal fan, you don't really care. But there's a youngster at Tottenham called Lancashire.
I don't care, but you're a spud.
Lancashire. There's a kid out there
You're a
called
spud,
Lancashire.
bro. How can a
Of course
spud be telling me anything? You're a spud.
Yeah,
You've won
okay,
nothing.
mate.
All you've done is won the Audi Cup, and you're going to come back to me.
Listen,
Come
Nah,
on, man.
that's too funny.
You're full of dust.
bottle of
Dust.
FC. Relax,
No,
relax.
you can say, well, you're just full of dust. Listen, before we end this, I'd just like to ask my good friend Junior a question.
Sure.
Junior, you're either a manager or a player manager playing it for a team, yeah? Your team finishes fourth in the league, right?
Yes.
Now,
Glad you brought this up.
And the show is done.
No.
You know what?
There.
It's been
Your
an
team finishes
absolute
fourth.
pleasure.
Junior,
Joe,
your team
Joe, you
finishes
wanna hear
fourth
this
in
as
the
well?
league, yeah?
It's been absolute.
Now, by some strange choice, the league offers you to come up the league still, and you finish.
Yeah.
Now, do you A, tell the league no, or do you just say to yourself, well, you know what, the sort of man I am, because I know who the sort of person you are, Junior, do you stay in the league, your right league, and rightfully fight to win the league or go up as runners up?
You know what? Yeah, that's controversial, you know. And the reason why I'm going to say that to you there, Gary, is because me playing non-league, there's been some teams that have had the ground, that have had the stadium, but they've been relegated. All right. And we call it a reprieve. Yeah. So what that means is that the team in the leagues below never had certain things to facilitate to be able to come up and go into that league. So the team that got relegated has a reprieve. However, the way some leagues have been quite ruthless recently is leagues do offer, let's say, the top teams the opportunity to come up, because there's teams that win the league that can't go up because they don't have the right grounding as well. So what that means is the teams below that then have the option to go up if they choose to. Now, I think it happened with, and just to comment, a perfect example, it happened with SE Dons. Now, SE Dons came into the Orpington and Bromley League. However, when they came from the Met League, they never won their league. But rather than them come out of the league and, you know, go into a different league and earn the right to be in our top tier division, the question was asked. And I'll be honest with you, everybody wants to play in the highest division in whatever league they're in. That's the aspiration. Because what would you? Because for me, it's like what Chris said earlier on. What are the objectives to go and win this league again? Do you understand that? So everyone aspires, all managers. You know, we watched the Euros the other day. Everyone all of a sudden wants to play 3-5, but you know, not to go over the houses. The reality is if I had the option now, all right, my Sunday team, for me, we play in the best Sunday league ever. You understand? I know the Saturday teams that I've played for, the objective is to win the league that season, or at least be in the playoffs to compete. You understand? So if my teams that I've played for had the opportunity to go and jump a step level above, why would you not? That's the question.
I get that.
Don't encourage him, Chris. Please don't.
But Gary, whatever controversial things have happened, you have to ask yourself now. This is where loyalty kicks in too. Now, you're a general goalkeeper. You run things in the vet team. Now, if another team in the vet sector were paying people to come and play for them, and you had the option to get given some money for being the best at what you do. Remember, you're paying, you're contributing. Now, if someone came in and said, boy, Gary, I like what you do, I like the energy that you have, you're the general, you're the best, and they offered you money, would you be subject to moving on?
Well, now,
All right, you know, I'll take your silence as
no money.
Yeah,
plays
but
money's playing a part. Come on now, Junior. You know that. I know that.
June, don't get confused with this one's facial expressions and making.
No, I'm not confused. You know why? You know why? Because you see, but you know what? No, but Gary, the reason why I say that, yeah, is because people who have, clubs that are fortunate to have financial support You don't know what agreements that people have got with certain people as to why certain people are where certain people are. Do you understand? Because a certain man might get a certain little something, a little helping hand to come to football. Chris, you're in that circle now where there's someone that genuinely might be getting a something and someone who genuinely just might not be getting nothing at all. Do you understand?
No.
But that happens all the time. So, like I said, Gary, again, if the option is there for you to step up into a league, there's no way that you're not going to jump at that for me. You understand? And, you know, the objective is to progress. So if you've had the option of jumping fourth in the league and your ground is the best ground, even levels above, and you can play on that against the better teams, my brother, you're going to bite the hand off.
Let me quickly just intervene there.
The ground's not all that, Junior.
Yeah, I was just about to say,
but other places you're going, is going to be all that.
For Tabrice's team, the highlights of that place is home base.
Catford, yeah.
People go shopping before that, but
that's
no,
the
Catford.
I think but the thing is, I think what it was is that the discussion came about because there's now my opinion is that if you were there or thereabouts, yeah, for example, if they were in a title race and they didn't finish and then obviously they got offered, that's different. That's how I see it. Now, Tabrice will tell you himself, because he's doing all these facials, but he will tell you himself that they were nowhere near it last year.
Nothing.
Nowhere
Well,
near it.
Let me show you. Let me give you another fact. Let me give you another fact. I was at the final game of the season.
You was there, Jude.
And I was there, you know, watching the opportunities, knowing that 1 point was needed, at least.
What?
Yeah.
And you know, and let's see, JB, be absolutely honest in terms of like the game. Like,
bro, man gave him a nickname, JB, and that, bro.
No, I keep it. Chris, allow it. No, but I'll be real. The one thing that I said is the league wasn't lost by you not getting a point on that day. Do you understand? Because you had chances. You understand that?
I told him, Junior. I told him.
I made that very clear. Now the question for me is, as much as that opportunity has been granted to you lot, why was second and third not given that conversation?
First and second went up. The third place didn't want to know.
There you go.
Me personally, Junior, and I weren't being funny, but like I said,
no, I know.
Keep it short and sweet. Me personally, I'm either going up as a champion or I'm going up as runner-up. No third place or fourth place should be going anywhere. They should be concentrating rightfully on trying to be champions or runners up to go up.
But I tell you what though. Do you know what's happened? Do you know what's happened here? Because I believe that charcoal vets have folded now. Correct me.
Yeah. Yeah. So they've only come up.
So what that means? What that means already is there's a vacant space to fill the numbers in the league at the moment. Now, Tabrice has mentioned that the third place team didn't want to know, that they were very happy to stay where they were. However, with, you know, you might say another typical phrase, the man them, you know, that I saw at that game. I didn't know that so many people from round the way played for Catford because I was like, rah. I didn't know that you lot was here. You understand that? And to me, knowing that with the teams that are in the top tier division, it's got all the man them there. It's the Premier League. You understand? So you're going to have the better teams. There's going to be bragging rights every week. You understand? And people will be watching what Catford are doing. Do you understand? And you know what? The league table don't lie. The league table don't lie. Do you understand? So no one ain't saying that they never earned it. No one ain't saying that they never deserved it. Because that day against Kahua, if their chances were taken, I have to be real, they would have won the game. But chances win football matches, you know what I mean? And that defines the difference.
And they didn't win. And
they didn't win. So knowing they didn't win, it was quite soul destroying to see the group huddle and, you know, look, you know, I don't want to, elaborate. But you know, all I can say was it was a sad day. You understand? But it was also a joyous day because remember, Kahua really won the league. So again, it was let's go unbeaten. So you're playing against a team that wants to be unbeaten, and you're playing against a team that's also trying to get promoted into a league. You understand? So it wasn't like the game was just seen out of sight. It was tight end-to-end stuff, and you know, credit was given where it was due. But when you're playing against your last game of the season and you've got the unbeaten champions, it ain't no walk in the park. Where you take this for? You understand?
No, I respect it. Winners win though, but it happens, isn't it, T? Don't worry.
No, you know.
Why didn't you just? You should just leave it like that, Tabriz.
No. Hold on. Literally, I should say one more thing.
I've got 5 minutes. I've got 5
Yeah,
minutes.
my reception's going. My reception. I can't hear you.
Starts in 5 minutes. Bro. I can't watch match of the day. Come on, bro. 5 minutes match of the day's on.
Actually, Julia Baker, how can people find you on socials?
Well, I'll put my name down there in the little description, Skin2T, if you can see it a bit more bigger than I've written it. But yeah, you know, that's me. You know, Tobias got me onto TikTok, you know, because I you know, when you're trying to not be on too many things, and he was like, no, you should try that. You should try that. And I was like, okay, all right, I'll try that. You know what I mean? Like, so again, if you punch in Skin2T, that's where you will find me, you know. And again, if anything you see that I do uplifts you, I've done my bit for the day, you understand? So again, I'll be back in the next 2 weeks, you know what I mean, ready to go back again and stay consistent.
Absolutely.
Love that.
Pleasure. And like Chris and Gary, I'll be speaking to you during the week. So and again, you guys are going to be on the show, so no one really needs to know your like DLs.
Oh wow,
boy.
Wow.
You know,
and you know what? You see, you know what, Chris? You know when you put something out, right? Just before we go, I'm gonna Gary, I know you're in Peter shot right now, but you know when you post something,
yeah,
and you're looking at it, and sometimes before I used to have an expectation of how many people I would like to like it. Let me show you something. If there's 6 people that might send a heart sign or that might like it, you know what? That could all be 6 brand new, different people that
100%.
were engaged. So to Bryce, you must send out Chris's details and you must send out Gary's details, because you don't know who's out there that could be watching this thing and you're talking about they don't be on the show, so they don't want to. What kind of that bad press?
In it though.
Chris.
In it though. No,
so
it's too late now. I don't want to.
No. You know. So Chris, what are your details?
Listen, don't long it out. You know, match of the day in 3 minutes.
Obviously, hey Gary, if you're anything like me, I've got it on in the background, brother. You get me? So I'm watching you. So if you see me doing these ones, it's because I'm watching match of the day. You get me? But
but I want to hear it, man. I want to hear it properly.
So on TikTok,
and I don't want to see someone in a Tottenham top while I'm watching football. Yeah.
Gary, do you know what we're going to do? We're going to stay in here while we watch Match of the Day together.
You know what? With this social media thing that you lot are teaching me about, it says exit. So I'm good.
You're so silly.
That's the first thing I learned from you lot. There's the exit button. So I've learned that, so I'm good.
So to answer your question, T, I'm on TikTok, which you'll see it as, it will be Crubby09. I've got obviously Instagram. I've got 2 Instagrams. Again, it's Crubby09, and then my other one is obviously Coach Hubs. And TikTok is let me just find it. My TikTok one is we don't want that. Is again Crubby09. I just went with the same thing for majority of them. So TikTok, Twitter and Instagram is Crubby09, and my Insta coaching page is _coach_hubs_. So you know, feel free to check it out. Exactly what Junior, just before we go, exactly what Junior said. Sometimes when I post things, I think I don't necessarily always look. The likes and that are always a bonus. It's just more how many people am I reaching out to, how many people are seeing it, and you know, I'm similar to Junior. You know, I work in a line of work that deal with young youths. So my positive that I try and get out of it is, can I be a positive role model? because some of these young youths don't have positive role models within their life. So if they can see if they can stumble across this, I don't give out my handles to the kids at work or anything like that. But you know what? Social media is a big place. It ends up popping up at some point. But if they're able to hear or see about me, at least as a positive role model, they can turn around and be like, I'm not saying it's going to turn out to be like me, but like, look at you going, no, Chris is doing something good, that's kind of what I want to do when I'm older. That's what I do. That's why I do what I do, because I want to be a positive role model for the kids that don't have it, my own nephew and niece, and anyone else that gets to see it. Like, that's why I do my things. So yeah, man, just keep doing your thing. I think you all, I just want to leave it on this. I think you're all amazing people, man. So just everyone
respect, man.
No,
100%. And keep sharing out this positive stuff, because you guys, it's a joy to be able to share these platforms with you guys and have these chats, debates. So
no, wicked, man.
Yeah, I love it.
Gary, what's your socials? You got 30 seconds.
No, I ain't got no socials, brother. I mean, Junior, I'm a soldier, If you know me, you know me. You understand? I don't need Instagram and Twitter and
no, it's spelled CRUBBY09. So CRUBBY09.
There you go. And I'm gonna put everyone's social media handles in the description. Give me a few minutes. Honestly, guys, thank you so much. And 2.5 hours. What, honestly?
That bloody time and all.
That's a good time, man. You guys.
What do you mean? It's bloody time and all, man. I've got 2 minutes to go and make 2 minutes to go and get a drink and then come back for bloody match of the day, man.
Guys, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Yo, wicked, man.
Tune in again for next week. It's gonna be a joke. Honestly.
Later, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much.
Yeah.